one step ahead of her.
This isn't gonna end well.
You're trying to rob the most dangerous man in Miami.
We're going in! Go!
They are not messing around. They want to kill all of you.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 action thriller Cash Out. The film is directed by Randall Emmett and it stars John Travolta, Kristen Davis, Lucas Haas and Quavo. Right, okay, the film follows John Travolta's character, Mason, who is a thief, essentially. He has his own crew, including his younger brother, played by Lucas Haas, as well as a number of others. You see at the beginning of the film, they pull off this heist. It doesn't go according to plan. He is betrayed by Kristen Davis's character, Amelia, when it turns out, in actual fact, she works for the FBI, and he didn't see that coming at all, Travolta. So he manages to get away from the authorities, but he retires after this. He feels, that he's done, he's had enough, he feels really betrayed because he'd fallen for Kristen Davis's character. But his brother approaches him and asks him to do one more job. Travolta refuses, so his brother goes ahead anyway to set up this heist of a lifetime. John Travolta gets wind that he's going to do it, gets involved to try and stop it. However, it's gone too far and it ends up with him, his crew, inside a bank with the authorities outside, and they've got to figure a way out. Right. What are my thoughts on Cash Out? Well, this is a heist film, really. You've seen this sort of thing done many, many times before. You've seen this sort of thing done many, many times before, done much better than this. Now, I'm not here to tell you that I think this film is, a really, really terrible film or anything like that. I don't think it's a terrible film. I think it's really quite unimaginative and dull at times. And for me, it's quite saddening to see the star power of someone like Travolta kind of reduced to a movie like this. However, saying that, he's the best thing in this film. Still, he's still got that charm and charisma, and he's, he makes the film watchable, which, that's not saying a lot, I suppose. Now, I think some of the problems I had with this film is it was highly predictable, and really paint by numbers almost, and I've said this before with some reviews that I've done, it feels like, somebody's put like a couple of plot points in an AI computer or whatever, pressed a button and it spewed out this film or this, script or whatever. It just feels like there's no effort really from anyone in regards to the direction. There's nothing that stands out. The action, nothing that stands out. Performances, nothing that stands out. I mean, like I said, Travolta's, watchable here. But you've seen him much, much better over the years. Kristen Davis's character as like this FBI agent is, well, I think I've seen, children's entertainers will make more convincing FBI officers than she does in this film. And this crew, this heist crew, are supposed to be like top of the range, the best at what they do. They're absolutely imbecile. They're imbeciles. Number one, they didn't know for God knows how long that they had an FBI agent, who had infiltrated their crew at the beginning, like Kristen Davis's character. And number two, this heist that goes wrong, it goes wrong due to the absolute incompetence of everybody involved in it. And it probably goes down as one of the worst bank robberies in screen history because it's an absolute cluster from minute one to, somehow they managed to kind of scramble something from it, which is kind of the whole point of the film, really, you could argue, but it doesn't kind of gloss over for me the incompetence of the crew. Now, for what is described on IMDb as an action film, there's precious little to offer here in regards to action. There's sporadic moments of, you know, supercars at the beginning of the film being driven around fast, and a couple of gunfights here and there, but the majority of this film is Travolta inside the bank with his crew negotiating with Kristen Davis's character on the outside and others, asking, demanding pizzas and drinks, and, you know, being like the friendliest bank robber of all time, if you like, and, you know, the most charismatic, or trying to be. And that's it, really. The majority of the film is that, you know, him on the inside, negotiating with the outside, trying to figure out, you know, how they can make good of a bad situation, and how they're going to get out of this situation. And you lose interest really quite quickly, because the characters are just... You know, I don't have a lot of time for characters that are stupid in movies, and barring John Travolta, who is clearly the brains of the operation, none of the others you can cope with, because, you know, they're so stupid, especially Lucas Haas's character. And if he sounds familiar or looks familiar, that's the kid from the Witness film, you know, the Harrison Ford movie. He's ridiculously stupid in this film. The rest of the crew, I wouldn't describe them as stupid, but they're not memorable at all. They've got two guys that are kind of crowd control, and one techie woman that, you know, as per any movie, you know, when you've got someone who's techie on a movie like this, she can open anything you want her to open, and hack into anything you want her to hack into. That's just how it works in the movies, obviously. So none of the characters are relatable. None of the characters are memorable. And that as well goes for Travolta's character. Yes, his performance is decent. He's the best thing in the film, but that doesn't mean that his character is interesting or memorable, because it really, really isn't. It's him that makes it kind of interesting occasionally. But, you know, I think I'd much rather see Travolta, you know, being asked to stretch his acting muscles at this stage in his career, because these roles for me aren't really paying off. They're really not. You know, you see other actors of his kind of generation doing movies like this, and it suits them a little bit better. It doesn't seem to work for me, Travolta, doing these movies. So it's not really a film I can recommend. You know, I've seen far worse than this, but, you know, this is definitely not edge of the seat stuff. It's not going to get the adrenaline going by any stretch of the imagination. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.